Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and you're watching This Week in MTG Finance. As always, and before we get started, I want to thank MTG Stocks for allowing us to use graphical information for the purposes of this video. We got a ton of stuff to talk about this week with all the mystery booster madness, and before we get into all that, why don't we have a look at the top 10 winners percentage-wise this week. So we'll start right here with Arithmesis Slumbering Isle from Commander 2018. Man, it's a cool card, eh? So for $10.31 is where we're currently priced. It's up 14% this week. It's been on a steady climb ever since about the end of last year when it was priced around the $5-6 mark. So almost doubled since then. So Arithmesis, if you're not overly familiar with it, not only is it a mouthful to say, but it's also a really big beater type commander. So for 1 blue, 1 green, and 2, you get a legendary creature Kraken. He's at 12/12, and he enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on him. As long as Arithmesis has a slumber counter on it, it's a land, so it doesn't count as a creature. And whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from Arithmesis. You can tap it at any time to add a green or blue to your mana pool. So, all-time high of $12.50 back when it first dropped. It had an all-time low in the beginning of January in 2019. It's kind of been on an uphill climb ever since then, which is what I sort of predict this card to continue doing. Just a fun sort of casual type commander card, and barring any reprints, there'll always be a demand for cards like this. All right, in the number 9 slot, we have Hall of Gemstone from Mirage, currently priced at exactly $9. This card's up 21% this week. Bear in mind, this is on the reserve list when we're talking about this, okay? So had an all-time high of $28.50, and that was back in March of 2016. Since then, it's kind of had some ups and downs. I mean, we've seen some $15, $16 price tags on this card back in, mid 2018. It's kind of been declining ever since then. But this card is just absolutely oppressive in a mono green deck in Commander. So if you're not familiar with Hall of Gemstones, 2 green and 1 Disenchant World. During each player's upkeep, that player chooses a color. So at the beginning of every player's turn, they're going to choose a color. And then until end of turn, each mana producing land produces mana of the chosen color instead of its normal color. So once a player's chosen a color for the turn, everybody's lands only tap for that color. Super, super oppressive if you're running it in a mono green deck. And then, of course, mana rocks get around all of this. It only affects lands, right? But basically, everybody else's lands only tap for one particular color, and it's whatever color they happen to choose on their turn. So super oppressive in green commander decks. All right, in the number 8 slot this week, we have Mythos Shrine to Nyx, only ever been printed in Theros, and it's currently at an all-time high of $34.75. This card's up 24% this week. Interesting sort of life on this card. Around $12 before Pioneer was announced. Then we get the Pioneer announcement, boom, up to $20 in like a matter of a couple of days. So almost doubling in a couple of days. And then we've had a slow and steady increase ever since then. I'm actually surprised it hasn't appeared on the top 10 list more often, considering how much this card has increased over the course of the last few months. So super popular in Pioneer, and the reason for that is sort of twofold. Pioneer is the one format where monocolored decks are the most popular. We have decks like White Weenie, Mono Green Devotion, Mono Black Vampires, and these decks, the other reason is these decks are all really, really successful. I mean, White Weenies, Mono Green Devotion, Mono Black Vampires, these decks can all run you over. Very successful and competitive. So until we get either a reprint, which they kind of missed the opportunity, I think, with Theros Beyond Death, I think that would have been a good opportunity to reprint this card. If it was going to remain legal in Pioneer, I mean, I guess they just didn't want it in Standard, right? But we did miss an opportunity, a reprint opportunity there. That would have injected a ton of supply and really suppressed the price of this card. But we have an opportunity down the road in some sort of Pioneer Master set. So we'll see what Wizards decides to do with that. But barring any reprints or a shift away from, these mono-colored decks in Pioneer, this card's just going to continue to rise. In the number 7 slot this week, we have Fish Liver Oil version 2 from Arabian Nights, currently priced at $4.75. And this particular printing is up 29% this week. This is purely a collector type buy. I mean, you can still get 9th edition printings and Chronicles printings for just pennies. Actually, the other Arabian Nights printing is only $2.25. So purely collector type buy at $4.75 this week. Okay, and in the number 6 slot, we have Furnace of Wrath, specifically the Plane Chase printing, currently at an all-time high of $4.58, and this card's up 32% this week. This is the kind of graph I love to see on a card, just sort of slow and steady, constant kind of demand type graph. So, Furnace of Wrath, if you're not overly familiar, 3 red and 1, it's an enchantment, and if a source would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage to that creature or player instead. Really super useful in Commander, especially in mono red decks, right? Been popular and gained in popularity ever since around 2017, just kind of been climbing ever since then. All versions of this card have been doing sort of the same thing. And of note, this has mostly been printed in various core set type versions, 9th, 10th, 8th, that type of stuff, with the original printing being in Tempest. The 9th edition is your best bet at $3.17, but I would expect all of these versions to continue to play catch up with the Plane Chase version. So if you need to get your hands on one, pick up one of the 9th edition while you can still get it for around $3.20. All right, halfway there, folks, and in the number 5 spot, we have Knight of the White Orchid, specifically the Dual Decks version, currently priced at $5.80, and it's up 38% this week. Just playing catch up with the other versions. If you remember last week, I said this was the cheapest one to get if you needed to get your hands on Knight of the White Orchid. Hugely popular in Pioneer, especially in like a white weenie type deck, right? Card's super good value. I mean, for 2 mana, 2 white mana, we get a first striker, and when he enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than us, we can search our library for a plains card and put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle our library. Super good value and super useful in something like white weenies for sure. So the Magic Origins version is around $6.30, and the original Shards of Alara printing is getting close to $8 now. If you remember last week, I said my long-term target on this, barring any changes in popularity and Pioneer, is $10, and that's still where I'm at right now. So picking this one up around $6 is super good value if you need to get your hands on Knight of the White Orchid. Taking up the number 4 slot this week, we have Thought Lash, and this has only ever been printed in Alliances, currently priced at $12.80, and this card's up 52% this week. So Thought Lash, for 2 blue and 2, it's an enchantment, and it has a cumulative upkeep where you remove the top card of your library from the game. If you do not, remove your library from the game and bury Thought Lash. And you can pay 0 at any time to remove the top card of your library from the game to prevent 1 damage to you. So as you can imagine, this is going to work really well in decks that are running Thassa's Oracle. I mean, you can just, sort of pay the 0, remove the top card of your library from the game. Just do this repeat over and over and over again until you remove your entire library from the game, and then Thassa's Oracle and go ahead and win. God, this card is so creepy, eh? I mean, I've been playing Magic since this card was printed. That sort of gives you a little insight into how old I actually am. But this card always freaked me out. It's like some sort of weird, gross brain sucker on the back of this chick's head, eh? Poor girl. Anyway, yeah, like I said, super creepy card. But $12.80, it's no surprise, considering the popularity of Thassa's Oracle's decks right now, especially in Commander. All right, in the number 3 spot this week, we have Angel's Grace, specifically the Modern Masters version. Card's at almost $15, and it's up 71% this week. So if you're not overly familiar with Angel's Grace, 1 white mana and instant with split second. So once this hits the stack, it has to resolve. Can't put anything in on the stack on top of it. You can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn. Until end of turn, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. So gained in popularity most recently because of ad nauseum combo decks in Modern, but it's also super good at just sort of putting the stopper on your opponent's winning or comboing off as well. Of note, the Time Spiral version, which is the original printing, is currently at around $13, so a couple of bucks cheaper if you need to get your hands on this. All right, and in the number 2 slot this week, we have Splinter Twin, specifically the Modern Masters version, although the original Rise of the Eldrazi version is up a lot this week too. So $14, not all-time high range. I mean, that was back, when the card was super popular in a Modern back in 2015. But $14, which is sort of a recent all-time high. And this was pure speculation heading into the banned and restricted announcement this week. So again, people just kind of hoping that this is going to get unbanned in Modern. I actually think, I've said this in videos in the past, I think Splinter Twin would be fine in Modern right now. Modern has a lot of answers things like Fatal Push and stuff, it just didn't have back in the day when Splinter Twin was dominating the format. So personally, I think Splinter Twin would be fine in the current modern environment. What do you guys think of that? Why don't you let me know in the comments section below? I'm actually curious to see what you guys think about that. But like I said, I think this would be fine in the current modern environment. And this price was purely speculation, like I said, heading into the banned and restricted announcement this past week. So I would expect, since this didn't get unbanned, I would expect this card to kind of, drop like a stone from here back to around the $5-6 range where it was before. But like I said, I think that this card has a huge potential, and a lot of other people do too, and that's why you get these sort of massive buyouts right before the BNR announcements. People kind of speculating, right? I think this has huge potential to get unbanned in Modern, so keep that in mind going down the road. All right, and our big winner this week is Divining Witch from Nemesis, currently at $3.73, and this card's up 161% this week. I gotta be honest, I didn't think this card would ever be on any list anywhere. So Divining Witch, 1 black and 1, we get a Spell Shaper. He is a 1/1. But more importantly, we can pay a black and 1, tap him, discard a card from our hand, name a card, remove the top 6 cards of our library from the game, and then reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal the named card. Then put that card into our hand and remove all other cards revealed this way from the game. Boy, that's a mouthful. Essentially, what's going to happen here is you're going to use Divining Wish combining with things like Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle to basically just go ahead and win the game. So, I would expect this card to actually increase a little bit over the course of the next few weeks. Now that people have got this one kind of figured out, supplies on from Nemesis are super low. I would expect this card to increase a little bit, at least from here. All right, and before we get to cards I'm investing in this week, as always, if you're a subscriber, I want to thank you for being here. We really appreciate your support. And if not, now's a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We post at least 2 videos every week. All right, so when it comes to mystery boosters, all I have to say is, wow, mind blown. Like, this set is absolutely insanity. The value is so humongous. It's coming out of every box. Like, I haven't seen a box open anywhere. I'm sure you guys have checked out some of the booster box opening videos I've done on this channel already. It's like 5 of them. Like, there wasn't a loser box in the bunch. In fact, every one was like worth double, triple, what the person paid for. It's absolutely crazy, the value in this set. And just like every pack's got something great in it, even if it's just something like a Beast Within and maybe another $2 rare or something. It's like almost every pack is just kind of paying for itself. Absolutely wild. So what do I have to say about mystery boosters? Well, there's too much to go into here, and the long-term implications of this set are going to be like felt for years. Like, this is going to send ripples through the financial community, as far as Magic the Gathering goes. So it's too much to get into one video. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to produce an extra special video that I'll throw out sort of midweek this upcoming week, and we'll dive into more of the financial implications of mystery boosters and what it's going to mean to the market, supply and all this kind of stuff. But for now, one thing I want you guys to chew on is there's a few cards. Like, be careful. I will say be careful what you sort of buy into with mystery booster, and the reason I'm saying that is there's cards in there that are really high demand cards. Things like Beast Within. Like, you can get Beast Within. I mean, it's shipping on TCG for under $1. So you can score Beast Within. I'm buying as many of these as I can get my hands on under $1 all day long. It's normally a $3-4 card, right? It's even had a few reprints. Like, this card has been reprinted in a Commander set before. And then obviously its initial print run. So, it's always a $3-4 card, just sort of a staple in green, right? So things that are stapley stuff like this, like Beast Within, Fatal Pushes, these are shipping for under $250 or available for under $250 purchase, price on things like TCG Player, right? So, and given a few more days, I think you'll be able to find this card for under $2. So when this goes below under $2, like, I'm a huge buyer of Fatal Pushes, right? This is a card that gets played in all kinds of formats. It even gets played in Modern, right? But really heavily played in things like Pioneer and stuff. So, and it's not a card that people want one of. They want four of these. So, picking them up for $2, they're normally a $4 or $5 card. So things like that, Beast Within, Fatal Push, Priest of Titania, if this gets under $2. Just these good sort of stapley cards that are getting a lot of play in different formats. These are the ones you want to kind of pick up and score when they sort of bottom out. So just keep your eye on how the price is trending on these, and that's sort of what I'll say at this point. The ones I would avoid are things like, believe it or not, foil Send Triplets. Like, awesome card, don't get me wrong, but the foil of Send Triplets prior to Mystery Booster launch was like 160, 170 bucks, something crazy, right? But that's just because the card was printed so long ago, and sort of the quantity of foils that were available out there that people could get their hands on just wasn't there. But Send Triplets is not one of the most popular commanders. It's a really good commander, don't get me wrong, and a lot of people have built Send Triplets decks, and a lot more people probably will build Send Triplets decks now that they're opening that foil Send Triplets they got at the draft on the weekend or something, right, or in their box or whatever. But it's going to take a long time for cards like that to recover their value, if they ever do. Like, I don't know if I can't say with any kind of certainty that a foil Send Triplets from Mystery Boosters would ever be worth $150. There's just so many of them that are getting open. This set is getting open like crazy, and there's so many of them that are getting opened. I just think it's going to be a long time for the demand sort of sucks up all of the copies that are going to get opened over the course of the next few months. So, like I said, be careful, but we'll go into more detail in another video later this week. So look for that regarding specifically Mystery Booster product. All right, so let's talk about some cards outside of Mystery Boosters. One I have my eye on for sure is Collector Oofy from Modern Horizons. So, currently priced around $4.20, give or take. All-time low at $3.20 was, summer of last year, right? So, and then this card's had an all-time high of $5.20. So we're kind of right in the middle between all-time low and high right now. If you look at the overall graph on this card since its all-time low, it's trending upward, and I think that is just going to continue. I mean, this card's great. It's used in Modern as sideboard tech, 100%. I mean, 1 green and 1, we get a creature Oofy. He's a 2/2. And he has activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. So definitely awesome sideboard tech for Modern, for sure. But this card is getting utilized and appearing in more and more commander decks, especially sort of mono green decks that don't run a lot of mana rocks and stuff like that, can afford to run this in the deck for sure, right? So I think the long-term graph on this card is going to continue to trend upward, and I think at this price is a sort of the best time you're going to see to get in on this card for sure. All right, and last but not least, we have our speculation play for the week. That's right, it's Command Tower, specifically the Throne of Eldraine version. So these are the ones that were available in like the Brawl decks, right? Currently at an all-time low, basically of a $1, and this is never going to be cheaper in this alternate art version of the card, right? I mean, every other printing of Command Tower is worth at least $1, sort of 25, but more closer to the $1.50, $1.75 range. So this one's got a long way to go to catch up. And also, this is the only printing of this art, right? Every other art has the same sort of old boring original Command Tower art, except for the Commander's Arsenal one had some cool alternate art as well. Even the Judge promo was just basically a foil version of the original Command Tower art, right? So, a few reasons for this. A, it's got a lot of price catching up to do to get up to the same sort of spots as all the other Command Tower printings. And B, I honestly believe that Mystery Booster is going to inspire a lot of people to build a bunch of new commander decks. It's actually inspired me to build a new commander deck, right? I mean, I've been running Xur for years, but I'm gonna build a Selvala mono green deck. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm really pumped. So of course, now bad example. I probably won't bother putting a command tower in my Selvala deck, but I mean, every other, there's all sorts of awesome commanders in Mystery Booster, right? We got things like the Gitrog monster, Queen Marchesa, Marin. There's going to be a lot of new commander decks getting built, and every deck that's not monocolored wants to have a command tower. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like Sol Ring. Sol Ring's another good investment, I think, right now at this point too. But Command Tower, it's one of those cards that sort of has to be in most, if not every, deck. So, and there's never enough of them because we only ever get one sort of for every, commander product that's printed, right? So it's just one of those things. There's just not enough supply of this stuff out there for sort of the demand that's going to be had in the future with all of these new mystery booster commanders that are getting open. So there you have it. That's my speculation play for this week. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button and give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.